Welcome back, everybody, here to the Cowboys Fan Show. So, Scott, let's get into some off-season storylines here. Now, one of the big things that was surrounding the Cowboys throughout the off-season is a ton of suspensions, and obviously the injury bug that hits everyone else. So let's dive a little bit more into that, obviously with probably the most highlighted suspension of the NFL offseason thus far, Zeke Elliott. The Zeke Elliott suspension. So as it stands right now, Zeke Elliott's still suspended for the first 6 games.
Not necessarily. There hasn't been a decision made by the arbitrator yet. I mean, I was of the impression that he had till 4 o'clock today to make a decision. The union is actually still the impression that I've been reading all morning that he's going to make a decision today about, either reducing or repealing the suspension at all by 4 o'clock today. Now the league's coming out and saying that there is no timetable for it. I mean, it got really jumbled. I mean, the Players Association filed a restraining order in U.S. District Court in the state of Texas to keep them from being able to suspend Zeke. As it stands right now, I believe he's going to play week 1. By no means does that mean that he's not going to be suspended or anything settled. That's just my opinion right now, is I think that there's just too much going on to get it settled before Sunday. I think he plays. Now,
that 4 p.m. deadline that everyone was talking about, I did see a tweet come out from Ian Rappaport that he was clarifying that 4 p.m. deadline for today is whether Zeke is on the roster for a salary bonus. So that's what it's all about.
Okay.
So if Zeke isn't on the roster or isn't, decided yet to be suspended by 4 p.m. today, it's non-related to eligibility. So moving right along, Chaz Green. We were talking about this a little bit during the break. Chaz Green seemingly cannot stay healthy. Give us your take on Chaz Green and what's going on.
Chaz Green, I think that he's one of the best 5 linemen that we have on our team right now, to be honest with you. Apparently he's got hydration issues, which lead to injury issues and concerns. He's never been able to stay healthy. Everybody knows that. Anybody that watches knows that he has a difficult time staying in games. I'm of the opinion that he's better served as a swing tackle because of that. I mean, it's easier to stay healthy when you're on the bench, man, and you only come in as a swing tackle and you play as a backup. I think Jonathan Cooper should win that the guard job as a default. We even saw in the highlights that we watched in the preseason today is he wasn't able to pick up that twist stunt and gave up a sack on Dak Prescott in the preseason. So he's good. He's an excellent player, in my opinion. Was he worthy of a 3rd-round pick if he could stay healthy? Absolutely. Yeah. I think he's a starting right tackle, to be honest with you. He just can't stay healthy, and I think Jonathan Cooper wins that job just because of those facts.
Now, moving right along, in full disclosure, this may be Scott's favorite player on the Cowboys, specifically on the defense, Tyrone Crawford. This guy's been battling an ankle injury. Now, news finally came out. He is good to go for the season opener against the New York Giants. Now, it was not even 2 weeks ago, Scott, that you were calling for this guy to be cut.
That was a private conversation, Tyler, and I didn't think that we were going to be talking about that on the show.
Why are we cutting Tyrone Crawford?
$9 million a year.
All right.
$9 million a year, Tyrone Crawford, the man without a position, okay? Is he a decent defensive end? Sure. Is he worth $9 million? Yeah. Not even close. I mean, he's a pretty good 3 technique, but you know who else is a pretty good 3 technique? Malik Collins. I think Stephen Payet has been killing it in preseason. I think that he earned the 1-tech spot. I think Malik Collins is a starter at the 3. Is Tyrone Crawford worthy of a starting defensive end position? Maybe for the first couple of weeks, but I believe that Demontre Moore, actually, who is suspended for 2 weeks, outplayed him in preseason anyway. Well, because he didn't play in preseason. He's perennially injured. He's always playing with a shoulder stinger or an ankle or something. But for $9 million, he just does not live up to that salary. Not even close.
And I think what it boils down to is, if he goes on another roster, is he going to get that money? Is he going to get that starting spot?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you want to talk about starting players on the right end, I mean, Ben Samayoa has arguably had stretches where he's played just as good as, if not better than, Tyrone Crawford. I'd like to see what Charles Tapper has to offer. He looked fantastic in preseason. Taco Charlton, 1st-round pick. I mean, he's your pass rusher. So you've got guys that can play the run. We do have a wealth of defensive ends there. I think that, DeMarcus Lawrence is clearly going to be the left-end starter right there. So where do you stick this guy in at $9 million a year?
Yeah,
he's not a starting left or right. You're kind of forced to play him, but I think that there are guys that can play better than him at both end positions and at the 3-tech. So, I mean, Malik Collins, killing it. I think he's our best defensive lineman. So do you start Tyrone Crawford over him just because you give him $9 million? No. Yeah. you cut his butt and you send him back and you save yourself $9 million.
Let somebody else deal with the $9 million headache. Now,
yes.
Last one to get to on the injury suspensions list. This one, arguably the biggest one on the defensive side, Anthony Hitchens. It's come out, initially they thought he had an ACL tear, but now it's come out that he has a tibial plateau fracture. 8 weeks is the diagnosis. Yeah, so, and I was of the opinion that it's like more like a stress fracture. It's not like a break or anything. It's just the upper tibial close to the knee right there. It's going to be healed. This one hurts because I honestly believe that Anthony Hitchens is the most underrated defensive player on our team. He's played all 3 linebacker spots, and he's played all 3 of those well. Now, let's get to this hot topic, something that you and I have talked about in depth here before, the backup quarterback situation. Now, we were talking about it there in segment 1, Cooper Rush versus Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, been in the Cowboys system for a few years. He's familiar. I think that's why they're keeping him around. We know you want Cooper Rush to back him up. Tell us why. You know, not necessarily I even want that, but I just don't have any faith in Kellen Moore at all. So the coaches do. I think that he's probably a better practice player than he is a game-time player. I mean, as you see in preseason, I mean, he got thoroughly outplayed by Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush looked fantastic. You know, I mean, he was like the next coming of Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? There was a guy last year who did well in preseason, and now he's a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush's numbers this year are just as good as Dak Prescott's numbers from last year. Undrafted free agent quarterback, sure, so was Tony Romo. You know, Kellen Moore has had opportunities to, in actual games, not preseason games, to cover when Tony Romo went down and he did not perform well. I mean, he won that job by default. I mean, he did better than Matt Castle, great. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, you're still not winning NFL games. And he had a fantastic supporting cast out there, and he can't get it done. He's proven that he cannot get it done. I don't know why the coaches have so much faith in him. I believe it's actually probably more lack of faith in Cooper Rush, because saying, hey, this guy is going to be, you know, the team's backup, our official backup quarterback, and he's undrafted, free agent, has only played in a handful of preseason games. I think it just scares them going into the season without somebody with a little more experience like Kellen Moore. But Kellen Moore's experience has not been good, in my opinion. I mean, is he worthy of a roster spot? Absolutely not. There are better guys that you can put on this team and take that roster spot than Kellen Moore. Now, the reason he's touching on that roster spot there is because the Cowboys had to move the injured tight end Rico Gathers, again, the former basketball player at Baylor. He's shown some real flashes of brilliance, Rico has. He's going to be something special. Who's only in concussion protocol, might I add, right there. So it's like, I mean, to sit him down with a concussion for 8 weeks and put Kellen Moore on the team, Tyler? And this is the number that gets me, the numbers, I should say. Scott talked a lot about Cooper Rush just straight outperforming Kellen Moore in this preseason. Here's the numbers breakdown for these guys. Cooper Rush, 38 for 51, 398 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks. Now, Kellen Moore, equal opportunity, 32 for 59, so he actually threw the ball more, completed less. 392 yards. He had less yards, and now this is the one that really gets me. Only 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And when you think about this also, Kellen Moore started going out there with the second team, and Cooper Rush started going out there with the third team. So it wasn't even an equal opportunity. Cooper Moore had less opportunity to shine with less of a supporting cast, and he still did a better job. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Cowboys Fan Show.